on the spiritual journey there is such a thing as enlightenment, awakening, self-realization. And one of the reasons most people on the spiritual search have yet to realize this is because, as only the mind can do, it's an idea. And how can I describe awakening? Deep or shallow, dramatic or almost imperceptible in its apparent arrival. It's a knowing. It's not a belief. It's not something that can be practiced. It's not even something that can be cultivated. Because for however apparently noble, sincere those practices might be, this can't be strategized. Because strategies belong to the person. And when it's seen, no one realizes anything. There's no one to realize anything. It does itself. It's awareness becoming aware of itself. So there's not really anything you can do. And the challenge for someone who has awakened, and I'm very heartened to see more and more people, particularly on YouTube, they don't seem to be showing up very much in my actual physical reality. But it seems very clear to me that, or maybe it's just social media and the availability of everyone's perspective, should they choose to share it. But there seem to be a lot of people who've woken up. And it's not like you just know. When you know it in yourself, you can know it in others. It's as simple as that. If you don't know it in yourself, then you might recognize something in others, but you can also get it wrong. There's definitely some spiritual teachers who I once thought were wise, and they appear to be a bit more like cult leaders, still trapped in ego, than I once thought. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the challenge for someone communicating about this who has woken up, as I from time to time try to do, is the impossibility of it. Every time I open my mouth to try and speak about this, I know that my attempt is kind of doomed to failure. So the only real question is, how clean of personal agenda can I be when I speak? And the more I can speak from my truth without trying to actually teach anybody anything, put myself in any kind of role, then it's possible that somebody might benefit from it. But that benefit doesn't come from any strategy on my part. If it comes, the benefit can't really be known. Even though I can't know how I can be of benefit to people because of it. There's simply the frequency of truth, and one's willingness to keep deepening in that truth and be in integrity. So there's both a self-realization and then there's a self-actualization, which is the process of, living more and more from the truth. So another pitfall for a would-be communicator of truth, or certainly a communicator of truth who wants to do that with words, which instantly turns everything into concepts, which is why so many spiritual teachers, well, good spiritual teachers, will talk about the frequency. What's the communication behind the words? Because that's the way you align yourself. Truth doesn't come from more and more scriptures learned, or even truths learned. You know, I have very deep experience with ayahuasca, and you can learn amazing things. Some people specialize in the Akashic records, and it's amazing, but it's all provisional, and it's not what everybody's seeking ultimately. It's very possible to get stuck in it for decades. Thankfully, I was able to extricate myself from that particular trap. But, yeah. Waking up isn't about that at all. So, a difficulty for someone trying to communicate this with words is they may be asked questions and invited into attempts to describe it. And all of those are attempts to nail something down that can't be nailed down, that can't be fixated or fixed in a position. It's the ultimate shapeshifter. It's nothing and everything. But the moment you get sucked into trying to explain it, then you're going to get stuck in the same paradigm as all the people who are trying to understand it with their minds still. And I think this is why, silence is always seen as the ultimate carrier of the frequency, free of distortion. So I know that it can feel, because it did for me for 30 years, quite frustrating and almost tantalizing to hear these people telling you how they've woken up, and it's amazing. But your mind can't understand this. And if you really, silence is important because, silence is kind of the key because, as I say, if I can't explain it. The crazy thing about waking up is there's nothing to say about anything. There's just this. There's nothing to say. Now, you can carry on living your lives and have opinions, and that will be ongoing, but it's like, once you see it, it's like all these spiritual practices, all these attempts to understand, they're just sort of unconscious distractions away from, you can't know anything else. It's all you are. There's nothing but this. You are this. And there's nothing to be said. It's like I can't join someone who doesn't see on their from their frame of reference, because it's completely irrelevant. It's missing the point. It's kind of an argument with itself. I know it doesn't feel like an argument with itself. It feels like earnest striving and earnest attempts to wake up, but you don't have to wake up for anyone. There's no God. It's all you. And you can wake up at any moment. And it doesn't even matter if you don't wake up, because you are awake. You are life. And this is extremely unsatisfactory for the mind, which is a bunch of programs and trauma-born protections, identities that have fought so hard to be a person and fallen in love with the idea of being a person. And no human being is exempt from this spell. But yeah, if you want to see you can. You choose. But you own your choice. You own your power. Yeah, I've just made a video about explaining the unexplainable. This is what I mean. What can I possibly say about this? It's nothing whatsoever. It's utterly normal. It is what you are. It can't. It's closer than close. There's no distance. There's nothing to chase. And that's the paradox, that because of that fact, it can't be realized in subject-object relationship in the mind. And it can't be recognized by the mind pretending to not be the mind either, by being a good meditator, if that makes sense. Anyway. If I can say anything, it's just relax. It's all fine. It really is all fine. And even when you wake up, yeah, you'll still find yourself stuck back in mind all the time. But what's seen can't be unseen. And that's why I say it's all fine, because wherever you are on an apparent path that doesn't actually really exist, but let's say on a path, if this question arises in you at all, it's doing itself. It's all fine. You'll get there when you realise there's nowhere to get. You're already there. How could you be anywhere else? Okay. A quick plug for my website. I offer conscious mentoring and mirror sessions to use tools that can actually apparently help this process, which can be to, if you're ready to start dismantling identities that keep you in contraction, keep the beliefs in your limitation. And so if you can start to dismantle those, then you're, let's say, logically, there is no logic, but logically you are closer to this realization, simply because there's more freedom in the system. And that's what realization is, that you're completely free in every moment, free to choose, free to be, do whatever you want. everything which says you can't is not true. And with your choosing, it can be eliminated, can be dissolved. And the energy released and directed to something more efficient, more practical, and more beautiful for your life. Anyway, that's enough. Have a great day. Bye.